So now we move to the next verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is 10:80:42. So Sandipani Muni is speaking to Krishna and Sudama, and in his speech, Sandipani Muni has instructed as well as appreciated, and now it becomes he appreciates in an even more explicit, direct way, where he says, "Tushtoham bhu dvijashreshtaha satyah santu manorathaha chandam syayat yamani bhavantu iha paratra cha." So these are the words that every disciple would love to hear from his spiritual master. So let's break this down into various parts. The first thing that he is saying, Tushtoham, that I am satisfied. Yasya prasadat bhagvat prasado. So we want that the spiritual master be satisfied with us and we get mercy. So he is saying, Tushtoham, that Tushtoham bho, I am satisfied with you. And he is referring to them. The second point is he's glorifying them by saying that you are Dvija Sreshtaha, that you have become the best among the Dvijas. So both of them had come to the ashram of their guru to become Dvijas. So now he is saying you have become the best of Dvijas. Tushtoham bho Dvija Sreshtaha, that you have, like, somebody, like when somebody graduates, we can just graduate. Somebody can graduate with honors. So somebody can graduate with summa cum laude. So like that, there are various degrees with which one graduates. So when he's saying Dvija Shreshtaha, so he's also officially like celebrating them, acknowledging them, recognizing them. You have become the best of the. So there is personal emotion that is there. Then there is almost like a title, a designation that is given. So when we graduate, we get a title. There is a designation that is given, and then there is the benediction that is given. What is the benediction? There are two parts of the benediction. The first is Satya Santu Manorathaha. That Manoratha is a poetic way of talking about desires. So Manoratha, the mind goes on a chariot, and when it goes on a chariot, it goes in various directions. So here is saying Satya Santu Manoratha, may all your desires be fulfilled. So now, what if a person has desires that are harmful for themselves? And what if a person has desires which are destructive? Many times, if we look at our life, much of our trouble comes from our own, we can say, undesirable desires. We may have a desire for fame and popularity, and when you see somebody else is getting more fame and popularity, then we may want to pull that person down, and then that gets us into a trouble. So when the Guru is giving such a blessing, may all your desires be fulfilled. So he's not even qualifying it over here by saying that may all your spiritual desires or devotional desires be fulfilled. He's directly saying may all your desires be fulfilled, which is a very, very broad blessing. But then that blessing is 3 and 4, which are benedictions, that is nuanced by the next two lines, where he's saying that may you remember the wisdom that you have learned over here. Then that wisdom will guide your desires. Chandam syayat yamani bhavantu iha paratra cha. Chandamsya. Chandamsya is the hymns that you have learned over here. The wisdom that you have learned, the verses that you have learned. Ayat yamani. May they never become old for you. Here old is in the sense that may they never become irrelevant. May they never become old-fashioned. May they never become meaningless for you. May they always stay ever fresh and ever rich with wisdom for you. So when we say we want taste in Shastra, we want taste in Krishna, this is what it means. That Chandam se ayat yamani, that whenever we read Shastra, and every time we read, we get some new meaning over there. So this is what is happening over here. And he's Or rather, this is what Sandipani Muni is blessing Krishna and Sudama, that may these meanings stay all, may these verses and their meanings and their import and their rasa always stay fresh for you. And how long? That is, he is giving is Satyam, the verses may stay ever fresh forever. So it is in this world as well as the next world. Bhavantva for you, iha and paratracha. In this world as well as the next world. So the idea is that this is a very, very broad blessing that is given. And in this way, we have in the Bhagavatam, when Kapila's mother Devahuti, she serves her husband Kardam Muni very faithfully. The blessing that Kardam Muni gives to Devahuti is that may you be free from hankering and lamentation. So when we seek blessings, that is, what kind of blessings are we seeking? Sometimes we may say that may my desires be fulfilled. So fulfill my desire. That's the general blessing we seek, and that's fair enough. We all may have many desires and we seek the fulfillment. But actually, may I be free from desire. That is a far greater blessing. And that is the blessing that was given to Devahuti. Maybe you will be free from hankering. So here, what is the blessing of that has been given to Krishna and Sudama is that may all your desires be fulfilled, but may the wisdom that will guide your desires always stay alive within you. So bhakti is not a process of desire elimination. It is not that we have to become completely desireless. That is, rather, bhakti is not a process of desire elimination. It is a process of desire elevation. That we desire higher things. It is that we desire Krishna. That what characterized Srila Prabhupada was not that he was desireless. In fact, Prabhupada had among his entire God family the strongest desire to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master. So Prabhupada, what inspired him to go to America was not that just because he was renounced. So his defining characteristic was not his renunciation. He was a grahastha before, he had many children, he had a business, then he renounced the world. Definitely, once he accepted the renounced order, he was exemplary renunciate. And that's true. But at the same time, what defined Srila Prabhupada, many of his god brothers had been renounced for far longer than him. What defined Srila Prabhupada was his dedication, not his renunciation. Dedication means he took his commitment to his spiritual master's desire. So he had a very strong desire to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master. So in Bhagavad Gita also in 12.9, Krishna says, what is the perfection of sadhana bhakti? Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknosi mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. Mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. That actually we will develop desire for Krishna. So bhakti is the process of elevation of desires, not eradication or elimination of desires. And so this is a glorious blessing that these two friends, Krishna and Sudama, have got from their Guru. Let's go to the next verse, 10:80:43. Itham vidhanyane vasatam guru veshmani guror anugrahenaiva puman purna prashantaye. So itham vidhanya anekani. In this way, with many incidents like this, many statements like this, we got many blessings from our Guru while we were living there. Vasatam gurur veshmani, while living at the place of our Guru. And gurur anugrahenaiva, by the mercy of our spiritual master. Gurur anugrahenaiva. Anugraha is mercy. Puman purna prashantaye. So here, there is a beauty in the Sanskrit language, like any language, but there are one of the forms of beauty is alliteration. Alliteration means that the same sound is repeated. So here we see Puman Purna Prashantaye. So the per sound is repeated in all the three words of the last line. So Puman, the human being, Purnaha, completely, Prashantaye. A person becomes completely peaceful, completely satisfied, completely content. So when we are blessed by the spiritual master, that blessing manifests as that Shan, Prashantaye. Krishna uses the word Prashanta many places in the Bhagavad Gita. Prashantatma Vigata Bhir. Brahmachari Vrate Sthita. He talks about it in the 6th chapter in 6.13. And he also talks about how when we become completely purified, then we attain Prashanta. Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi vikata kalmashaha. That when the yogi is completely freed, then at that time the yogi becomes prashanta. So the word prashanta comes, it's a deep level of peace. So how does that peace come? That by the blessings of the spiritual master, our desires no longer agitate us. Now this is the great paradox in bhakti, that does a devotee not have desires? Is a devotee desireless? No, we say the devotee is not desireless. But then, if the devotee has desires, can we say all of a devotee's desires are fulfilled? No. A devotee's desires in the material world may not be fulfilled. All desires fulfilled. It doesn't happen for anyone in this world. But then, if the devotee's desires are not fulfilled, then how can the devotee be peaceful? Normally we think that my desires have to be fulfilled to be peaceful. But how is it possible that a devotee can be fulfilled? Generally we think peace will come from two ways. Peace is that either the source of peace can be I have no desires, then I can be peaceful. Or my desire is fulfilled, then I am peaceful. So if, for example, if I have no desire to eat food, then I will not be disturbed by hunger and I can be peaceful. Or if I had a desire to eat food and I got nice, nourishing, tasty food, then I'll be fulfilled. So peace, we think it comes in one of these two ways. It comes by either having no desires or by having our desires fulfilled. And generally we will think that if we have unfulfilled desires, then there can be no peace. So how does it work for a devotee that a devotee's desire may be unfulfilled and still the devotee is fulfilled? Well, that happens because a devotee's greatest desire is the desire for Krishna. So this peace, if you consider Srila Prabhupada worked extremely hard for the Juhu project. He worked tirelessly. He fought, not just metaphorically but even literally. And yet, Prabhupada could not live to see the inauguration of the Juhu temple. He departed on November 14, 1977, and the Juhu temple inaugurated just 2 months later, in Jan 1478. So, yet, now Prabhupada could have been agitated, oh, my desire is not fulfilled. But when Prabhupada was asked, he said, Kuch ichha nahi. When Prabhupada asked, do you have any last desire? Prabhupada could have said, I want to make sure that the Juhu temple is inaugurated properly. I want to see that. Prabhupada said, Kuch ichha nahi. How could Prabhupada say that? Because a devotee's desire for Krishna is actually greater than even the desire to do things for Krishna. That means Prabhupada wanted to build a temple for Krishna and that was his desire. But a devotee's desire for Krishna is greater than a desire to do things for Krishna. And the devotee understands that if Krishna wants, a particular desire will work out. If Krishna doesn't want, I accept Krishna's will. So the way a devotee stays satisfied is not by giving up desires or insisting that every single desire has to be fulfilled. It is that by desiring Krishna and desiring things for Krishna. So devotion, often as when we get initiated, we use the word, we get the name Das. Now, for females it will be Dasi, but the mood is of servitorship. So Das, Das, it can actually mean three things. There's devotion, and when there's devotion, D for devotion, A is aspiration. That when we have devotion, we have aspiration to do things for Krishna, but S is satisfaction. A devotee has aspirations. I want to do many things for Krishna, but a devotee is satisfied that I am with Krishna. That Krishna, I am remembering Krishna, I am with Krishna, and I want to be with Krishna. So when this is there, our devotion is characterized by aspiration to do things for Krishna, but even more, it is characterized by satisfaction by being with Krishna. And in that way, even if the desire is unfulfilled, the devotee can be fulfilled and the devotee can be peaceful. This is the power of the blessing that Sandipani Muni has given to Krishna and Sudama.